This is lesson 5.1, estimating with fractions. The table below lists the average length for a few mammals. Graph 9 1/4 on a number line. To the nearest whole number, how long is an American bison? Well, our number line is down here. Here's 9 1/4. Clearly closer to 9 than it is to 10. So we would round down, 9 1/4, we would round down to 9. Graph 3 3/4 on a number line. We're going to use this number line right here. We're going to start with 3 on this end, 4 on this end. We're going to go 3 1/2 in the middle, 3 1/4 here, 3 3/4 here. 3 3/4 on a number line would be right here, clearly closer to 4 than it is to 3. So 3 3/4 would round to 4. About how much longer is the American bison than the dingo? The estimate there would be 9 minus 4, which would be 5. Estimating with mixed numbers. Again, we're going to round to the nearest whole number. 3 2/3, you can see, rounds to 4. 5 1/6 rounds to 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 6 2/5 rounds down to 6. 1 7/8 rounds up to 2. 6 times 2 is 12. In our examples, 2 1/5 plus 3 1/2. 2 1/5 we're going to round down to 2. Because we rounded that down, we're going to round 3 1/2 up to 4. Our sum then is approximately 6. 4 3/8 times 5 1/4. We're going to round 4 3/8 down to 4. We're going to round 5 1/4 down to 4. So 4 times 5 is approximately 20. Example C, 8 7/9 divided by 2 3/4. We're going to round 8 7/9 to 9. We're going to round 2 3/4 to 3. So the estimate of 8 7/9 divided by 2 3/4 is approximately 3. To estimate the sum, difference, product, or quotient of fractions, now we're moving from fractions instead of mixed numbers. In this case, we're going to round to 0, 1/2, or 1, whichever is closest. So, mixed numbers to the nearest whole number, fractions to 0, 1/2, or 1. The guidelines: if the numerator is much smaller than the denominator, as it is in the fraction 1/6, we would round that to 0. If the numerator is about half of the denominator, in this example 5/8, half of 8 is 4, so in this case 5/8 would round to 1/2. In our third example, the third guideline is the numerator is almost as large as the denominator. In this case 9/10, 9 is almost as big as 10, so we would round 9/10 to 1. In the example, 1/8 plus 2/3, 1/8. The numerator 1 is much smaller than 8, so 1/8 would round to 0. 2 is closer to half of 3, is close to half of 3, so 2/3 is going to round to 1/2. So we have 0 plus 1/2 is 1/2. So our approximate sum is 1/2. In our second example, 6/7. 6 is almost as large as 7, so 6/7 is going to round to 1. 7 is about half of 10, so 7/10 is going to round to 1/2. So we have 1 minus 1/2 gives us an estimate of 1/2. In our third example, 8/9, the numerator 8 is close to 9, so we're going to round that to 1. 5/6, the numerator is almost as large as the denominator, we're going to round that to 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So in this estimate, 8/9 divided by 5/6 is about 1. In these examples, 1/7, we're going to round to 0. 3/5, we're going to round to 1/2. So our estimate is about 1/2. In example E, 7/8 minus 5/9. 7 is almost the same as 8, so we're going to round that to 1. 5 is about half of 9, so we're going to round that to 1/2. So our estimate here is 1 minus 1/2, which is about 1/2. In example F, 3/5 times 11/12. 3/5, 3 is about half of 5, so we're going to round that to 1/2. We're going to round 11/12 to 1 because 11 is about the same as 12. So 1/2 times 1 is approximately 1/2. In example G, 7/8 divided by 2/5. We're going to round 7/8 to 1. We're going to round 2/5 to 1/2. 1 divided by 1/2 is approximately 2. Compatible numbers, or numbers that are easy to compute mentally, can also be used to estimate. In our first example, we have 1/3 times 14. To make 14 compatible with 1/3, we're going to round it to 15. So our estimate is 1/3 of 15, or approximately 5. In our second example, 9 7/8 divided by 4 1/5. We're going to round 9 7/8 to 10. We're going to round 4 1/5 to 5 because 5 and 10 are compatible. So 10 divided by 5 is about 2. 9 7/8 to 10, 4 1/5 to 5. Our estimate then is approximately 10 divided by 5, or 2, using compatible numbers. In example H, 1/4 of 21 times 21. We're going to round 21 to 20, make it compatible. 1/4 of 20 is approximately 5. In our second example, example H, 1/3 times 17. We're going to leave the 1/3. We're going to round 17 to 18 to make them compatible. 1/3 of 18 is approximately 6. In our third example, 12 divided by 6 2/3. We're going to leave the 12. We're going to round 6 2/3 to 6 to make them compatible. 12 divided by 6 is approximately 2. The height of the wheels on the monster truck at the left is about 2/3 of the total height of the truck. Estimate the height of the wheels. Well, 2/3 of 15.5, which is what the height of the wheels, or the height of the truck is, would be 2/3 times 15. We're going to round 15.5 to 15 to make the two compatible. We're going to leave 1/3 of what it is, or 2/3. 1/3 of 15 is 5, so 2/3 of 15 is 10. The wheels then are approximately 10 feet high. The area of a rectangle is 19 3/4 square feet. The width of the rectangle is 5 1/4. What is the approximate length of the rectangle? Well, let's see. 19 3/4 equals 5 1/4 times the length. Well, if we solve this algebraically, we're going to divide both sides by 5 1/4. That means the length is 19 3/4 divided by 5 1/4. To make these compatible, we're going to round 5 1/4 to 5. We're going to round 19 3/4 to 20. 20 divided by 5 then, our approximate length is 4. Check for understanding. Example number 1. 8 3/8 plus 1 4/5. Now, because we have mixed numbers, we're rounding to the nearest whole number. This would be 8 plus 2, which is approximately 10, our estimate. Number 2, 2 5/6 minus 1 1/8. 2 5/6 rounds to 3. 1 1/8 to 1. Our estimate then is approximately 2. Number 3, 5 5/7 times 2 7/8. 5 5/7 is going to go up to 6. 2 7/8 up to 3. Our estimate then is approximately 18. Number 4, 9 2/7 divided by 2 2/3. We're going to round 9 2/7 to 9. We're going to round 2 2/3 to 3. Our estimate then is 9 divided by 3, or 3. Let's get a couple more examples in here if we can on this page. 1/6 plus 2/5. Now we're changing our estimates here because we have fractions. We're going to round to 0, 1/2, or 1. 1/6 rounds to 0. 2/5, because 2 is about half of 5, rounds to 1/2. Our estimate then is about 1/2. 6/7, this is example 6, minus 1/5. 6/7 rounds to 1. 1/5 to 0. Our estimate then is approximately 1. Number 7, 5/8 times 8/9. 5/8 is going to round to 1/2. 8/9 is going to round to 1. Our estimate then is approximately 1/2. Number 8, 4/5 divided by 6/7. 4/5 is going to round to 1. 6/7 is going to round to 1. Our estimate then is approximately 1. Using compatible numbers in number 9, 1/4 of 15, or 1/4 times 15. We're going to make the 15, we're going to round that to 16 to make it compatible with the 4. 1/4 of 16 is approximately 4. Number 10, 21 5/6 divided by 9 3/4. We're going to round 9 3/4 to 10. We're going to round 21 5/6 down to 20 to make them compatible. Our estimate then is approximately 2. In example 11, a seagull's wingspan is about 2/3 of a bald eagle's, which is 6 2/5. So we want 2/3 times 6 2/5. Using compatible numbers, we're going to round this to 2/3. We're going to round 6 2/5 to 6 to make the 6 compatible with the 3. As we did in our earlier example, 1/3 of 6 is 2. So 2/3 of 6 is approximately 4. The vocabulary in this lesson is compatible numbers, numbers used to estimate that are easy to compute mentally. At this point, you should stop the video, go back to my Moodle page, click on Lesson Quiz 5.1, log in using your 6-digit student number as your username, and the first 6 digits of your last name and your 2-digit birth date as your password. and take the lesson